My name is Teigan Wheeler, and for my AS Media coursework I decided to do a music magazine front cover, contents page and double page spread. My magazine is pop but with an older feel than other magazines of this genre. In this video I'm going to evaluate this magazine and talk through the process of making it. I'm going to address 7 different questions throughout my evaluation, and some of them may link together so they might be answered at the same time. To find out about my target audience for my media product, I created a survey monkey. I asked various questions to find out who my target audience would be, and questions about media language so I can make my magazine more appealing to them. After analysing my survey monkey results, I found that an equal amount of males and females are my primary target audience. I also found that the main age bracket for my readers would be 18 to 24 years old, but also a secondary age range of 25 to 34. I learned that the main ethnicity of my target audience was white, and that the majority would be heterosexuals, but there would also be a secondary audience of homosexuals and bisexuals. Finally, I found out the social grade of my target audience would be between B and D. In 1997, Bentley said, "The creative process is the making of the new and the rearranging of the old." This helped me when creating my own magazine, as I looked at current pop and chart magazine conventions to recreate them in my own way with my product so that it fitted with current popular magazines. As well as taking common conventions from other magazines, I also added my own creative twist on conventions so that my magazine would stand out when next to other pop magazines. The main thing I changed creatively was using more creative grown-up imagery, colours and text to make my magazine seem less childlike to appeal to my older target audience of 18 to 24 years old. One common convention that I followed on my cover is having the masthead fill 1/8 of the page. This is seen in the majority of magazines, whether they are pop or other genre, as it stands out, but also leaves enough room for images and text. I found that the majority of pop magazines such as Top of the Pops, Smash Hits and Sugar, which are all aimed at quite a young audience of females, had lowercase girly letters for the masthead, but as I was making mine for an older audience, I wanted to use a less girly and immature font and use a record for the O of the word sound. I called my magazine Sound because it is from the semantic field of music and shows the genre, to make sure the audience know it is a pop magazine, as this is obvious from the masthead name. I put the strapline, "Your first look into the world of pop," above the masthead. I also used a colour palette on my cover of pink, white and black, so it had a theme and some continuity. I also used this colour scheme because for my survey monkey I found that the majority of my audience wanted pink to be the main colour, so I kept this choice but decided to make it a less girly pink than the ones you see on existing pop magazines, so it's more appealing to males as well as females. Furthermore, I decided to break the common convention of existing pop magazines that have one main image of a posed smiley band or star in the centre of the cover and then other smaller images around it. For my main image, I decided to go away from the common conventions of a pop magazine of having an artist or a band on the cover looking happy and having a good time. I wanted the artist to look more serious and rebellious to represent older teens who were too grown up for iconic, over-the-top pop imagery. My main image is the medium close-up of my fake pop star wearing a leather jacket in a field on an old-fashioned phone. It looks like a warm evening, and I have added a warm glow to the image using filters. I chose to do this image because I wanted it to be more retro artist. And interesting. I did use some minor images of other fake pop stars on my cover, but positioned them in a less chaotic way than other current pop magazines. For the typography, I used the sans serif font as I feel it makes my cover look more modern and pulls the magazine away from being aimed at young girls and gives it a more professional feel. In terms of lexics I used on my front cover, I decided to follow the common conventions used with a pop magazine with words and phrases such as exclusive interview, world of pop and top style secrets. This makes it easier for the intended audience to understand what will be featured in the magazine, as it is in a language that they will recognise and know. With my contents page, I followed quite a few of the common conventions that are featured on a pop magazine, such as the layout, as it is quite busy and features quite a few images. I use text boxes to place my writing and use boxes around the larger images to make them stand out. I have kept with a colour theme similar to my cover to link them together. On my contents page, I have a small image of my cover to show what pages the main features are on. This is a common convention regularly used in magazines like Top of the Pops. I have also used another of my own images of somebody playing the guitar. This makes my magazine seem edgier and older to stand out to the target audience. The rest of the images are used to show what is featured in the magazine, such as bands and competitions. The typography is the same as my cover, as I wanted to keep it consistent so it looks more professional. As with the Lexis I've used on my contents page is similar to what you would find on other pop magazines, for example Gossip, Live Tour Tickets and New Star. This attracts the audience as it is similar to what they have seen before. My double page spread follows some common conventions but also goes against them in some ways, as I wanted my magazine to attract an older audience. The layout of the pages is quite similar to other pop magazines, as I have a main image, a title, a large quote, the main article and columns and page numbers, but is not as manic or brightly coloured as pop magazine layouts. It looks more like a double page spread you would see in an indie magazine aimed at older readers because I've used a large main image to cover most of the page and not filled the page with graphic or bright text boxes. As I've just mentioned in layout, to make my magazine different and to go against common conventions, I used the image so it filled up the whole double page spread. I feel this gives the magazine a more professional feel and draws your attention to the artist. My image breaks pop magazine conventions because it is a medium close-up of my star sitting on a bench in a sunny outdoor location and an old-fashioned phone instead of being a shot of a band or artist looking happy and excited in a bright studio shot. My double page spread image is similar to my cover image, as I have used the same model, same theme, same rebellious mood of the dress and a similar filter to give it a warm glow. I kept with a colour theme for my spread as it ties the page together and makes the magazine look more polished as it is a theme throughout. I have also used quite a feminine colour as the article is based on a female artist. The typography throughout my double page spread is the same as the cover and contents, as I think this will give the reader the feeling of continuity and make them think the magazine is well put together. I think this typography fits the target audience as it is fresher and appeals to an older audience. The Lexis of my double page spread is similar to other magazines of its genre, such as Top of the Pops and Smash Hits. I have used topics such as boyfriends along with writing about the music to appeal to readers in my intended audience. My media product represents certain groups through following stereotypes associated to youth, ethnicity, gender, class and regional identity. In terms of use, Bill Oscarby said that youth are a mixed metaphor of being rebellious and also fun. I've shown this in my cover, contents and double page spread by using images of a girl looking away from the camera and talking on the phone. This makes her seem mysterious and rebellious, but on the other hand, I've used quite bright and eye-catching colours along with retro images which make it look more fun. With reference to ethnicity, the functionist view argues that programme makers cater for what the public want and simply reflect attitudes, tastes and opinions on ethnicity. As my target audience is predominantly white females, I've used a white female on my cover. This will also attract my secondary audience of males as well. Concerning gender, Laura Mulvey stated that female characters are used as erotic objects of desire for the characters within the screen story and as erotic objects of desire for the spectator within the auditorium. I can apply this to my magazine as though I've used a female who is young and attractive to attract males and represent other females who could see her as a role model. I've not made her overly sexualised though, because I did not want to make female readers think this was a magazine aimed at just males. With class, Andy Medhurst argues those in charge of making media products are, on the whole, typically white male, middle class and straight who use stereotypes to reinforce traditional ideology. As I'm none of those, my magazine may not follow all the stereotypes you would see on a pop magazine. such as the image, font style and colours. I think this is a good thing as opposed to looking mass-produced. My magazine is more original and authentic, which should attract more readers in my older target audience. With regards to regional and national identity, Andrew Higson said, identity is generally understood to be the shared identity of naturalised inhabitants of a particular political geographic space. This can be a particular nation or region. I followed this by including very British imagery with a countryside setting along with British fashions. This will help attract my target audience who will subconsciously relate to these. In 2007, David Gauntlet said, the view that the internet and new digital media as an optional extra is replaced with the recognition that they have fundamentally changed the ways we engage with all media. The first time I read this theory at the start of the course, I agreed with it because digital convergence and the rise in popularity of the internet and mobile phones means that the way people use media has changed, as people can now use digital media for everything and be producers of their own media seen by hundreds of people every day. Doing my practical coursework has made me realise even more how true Gauntlet's theory is because I've used digital technology throughout my project. Throughout the entire project, I have picked up many new skills I did not know before, as I didn't do media before A-level.